Welcome. Today we're having a conversation with Dr. Lami, a clinical licensed psychologist in California and also a UK chartered psychologist as well. You've been doing this for 20 years and you really help families, family offices, family businesses to talk about the non-fiscal side of wealth management. So when we talk about the non-financial aspects of wealth, what do you mean by that?
So it's a good question because most people are not aware that wealth can create different challenges.
Yeah.
So people can come to me. Usually I can, probably we can divide it into three different areas. One is because they're concerned about their children.
Yep.
And they want to make sure that they parent them well, so the children grow to be responsible adults or responsible stewards of their wealth.
Yes.
Another aspect is relationship, because money does tend to create disagreements among family members.
Yeah, yeah.
So they come to me to resolve that.
Yes.
So to make sure that they can communicate better, that they can resolve disagreements. Another aspect is to do with the estate planning. Quite often parents don't know the impact or want to know the impact that setting up a trust or a will in a certain way, how will it impact their children in the long run. And they have questions about how much should they leave for the children?
Yes, yeah.
At what age should they receive it? Should they set up milestones? Should they put certain conditions in place? So those are the main three areas. And also for family businesses, there are the challenges there where family members sometimes don't see eye to eye about
Yes.
certain decision making and how to run the business. And the challenge with family businesses is that because they all they grew up together and they all, bring their own emotional baggages into their relationship, it's harder to run the business and separate that from, let's say, a regular corporate. Employers come from all different parts of life and they come together and they have an understanding that this is a corporate environment. When you're dealing with family members, oftentimes it happens that I hear people say, yes, but we are brothers, so
It's different, yeah.
It's
There's
different.
a different dynamic there, yeah, which is...
So, help them to work through the difficulties or the emotions that interfere in their management, the successful management of their business.
But there's a term for this that's come, you've done a lot of research, and what is the term for that?
So I think what you're referring to is affluenza.
Yes, exactly, yes.
Yes, so let me just explain what it is briefly. So affluenza relates to unbalanced or dysfunctional relationship with money.
Okay. Yep.
And if I want to use a more professional term, because I think people should really know about that, it's the effect the money, wealth or materialism has on the individual unconscious, which manifests itself in unbalanced or dysfunctional relationship with money, with oneself and with others.
Good, yeah.
So it's not just about money, it's really affluenza will affect your relationship with yourself, with others, and with how you deal with money and wealth.
Amazing. So it sort of seeps into all aspects of your life if you don't have a healthy relationship with.
Yes, and it's not related only to people who have achieved financial success. It relates to people who would like to.
Yes.
It affects everyone.
So can you give me some examples or symptoms of affluenza that you've seen?
Yes. For example, when having more is never satisfying or enough. So it doesn't matter how much you have accomplished or how much you have, you always want more and you're always already, what's next.
Yes.
So you're not able to sit really and enjoy what you have. You're constantly on the go, Another aspect is when you develop a false sense of entitlement, because you think that because you have, or because you are successful, then you're entitled to. Another aspect can be worrying or thinking too much about money. So almost every decision making in your life is governed by money. You can go to the supermarket, you can go somewhere and shop thinking, oh, maybe I can get it somewhere else cheaper, or doesn't matter how much money you have, you always think, I don't have enough, I need to have more. It governs your financial decision making, your lifestyle, your saving and spending habits. Let me give you one more important example of affluenza is when you place high regard for outer self and low regard for lower self, for inner self, which means that you value more external achievements, success and materialism over relationship or inner qualities that the person have. So this whole celebrity, for example, phenomena that people admire celebrities is part of that.
Well, it's such an interesting issue, and we've seen, some huge major celebrities, maybe major wealthy people who appear fantastically wealthy and successful, but have got very dysfunctional and unhappy lives, and it's sad to see. So it is a very interesting topic. Can you give me some examples of how you can help people in these circumstances?
Well, basically, the way I help people is through coaching and my clinical experience and my background. I help them resolve the challenges that we have, that I've just expressed. So, for example, I help families that I've helped with have learned the appropriate parenting for their children, appropriate parenting for families of wealth. Because they're not aware of the negative effect that the affluent world has on their children. So we talk about that, and we come up with guidelines, and you can call it even like a family constitution on how to parent your children. Another thing is that I help with family businesses when, for example, siblings have conflicts and they don't get along in the business anymore, then I help them overcome that and really come together, and they are able to have conversations without anger or without someone leaving the room. I help people to, and that may be surprising to many, a lot of beneficiaries or even entrepreneurs or wealth creators feel guilty or shamed about having money and wealth, and sometimes they need the guidance on how to step into that role in a well-balanced way.
Interesting.
And how to make sure they don't alienate themselves from their family members or their environment. Actually, on the contrary, bring them in and use the money in a better way to help others as well.
Interesting. And you mentioned the clinical side of the psychology. How do you feel you've got an edge because you've got the clinical training in psychology as well as the coaching side?
I am positive of that, because I see a lot of my clients have been working with other professionals who don't have that clinical experience. And still some aspects have not been resolved. So having the clinical knowledge and experience helps really get to the root of the problem, and sometimes even faster than had I not have that experience.